Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tayler Yarish Show. We are here, and we are live. El Chapo's son was arrested. Did you guys see that? And there's like riots or something down there. The gangs are shooting down planes or something to try and stop him from being extradited to the U.S. or something like that. Don't get your news from me. I don't get it. I get it from Twitter and TikTok, so I don't know what's happening, but I'm just seeing videos of planes being shot down. What a real mess, huh? It's crazy. I know that they did this kind of stuff for El Chapo, because he was like the leader. Is El Chapo's son now the leader of the gang? Is that how it works? Of the cartel, I should say. I'm not really sure how it works, but I will say this. The cartel, they are a ride or die crew. You know what I mean? And there's something to be said about that, I think. Like their allegiance was really to El Chapo, not his son. I guess it's a whole family affair. But it's like when you have the boss, how often is the boss's son, a gem? A real peach, you know what I mean? Probably not a lot. I never understood that about, these these empires where it's just kind of run by a family, like a monarchy. Like it's like kind of how the English, the Brits, they do it. Oh, the king died, so now my son will take it. Well, who the fuck's your son? How do we know he's competent in any way, shape, or form? We don't. What are the odds that he's gonna know how to do this fucking job? Probably none, And that's even worse than the cartel. It's amazing the cartel kind of they have more of an allegiance to each other and to whoever the leader is than the royal family. Do you know what I mean? Like, one person in the royal family marries some lady who says everybody's racist, and then and then the whole family splits. Nobody fucking backs up anybody. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, we're gonna move to America and do some shit with Netflix, and the queen's like, yeah, fucking good riddance. I don't even want to see you. Nobody, if I feel like if one of the princes, let's say, got arrested or got abducted, they're not going to be shooting down any planes for them. And is it because they're not criminals? Maybe not criminals in the same way the cartel are, but they're probably criminals. The royal family, they've got some bodies over there, I have to imagine. The queen knew about some shit. Maybe they silenced her, and that's why that's how she died. I don't know. Honestly, I know the cartels are bad, obviously, but you can trust them in that you can trust them to do what the cartels do. I don't know why when I look at people in the royal family, I don't trust it. What's her name? Kate Middleton? I don't fucking trust her. I don't know why. It's something about her face and her smile. It's too nice. She's just over there laying on a bed of jewels, pumping out babies, and I don't know. I think they all know something. And she's married to the bald dude. What's his name? I don't like his face either. He's got rosy cheeks. That bothers me. Doesn't seem like a king. Is he the next in line? He might be, right? Because right now there's, God, I don't know. There's like 4 names spread between 20 people over there, and I don't know. Who's in charge right now? Charles? Who's the king? It's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of crazy. England has a king right now, and nobody talks about it. Like, it's been a queen for so long, and now we just got a king of England. It's like fucking Game of Thrones. Who's the king over there? Charles. I knew it was Charles. Charles the Third, after a historic 70 years on the throne. The queen has died. Her eldest son, Prince Charles. Oh, that old fuck was her son? Dude. When did she have him? When did Queen Elizabeth have her first child? Let's see. 1948. So she was okay. So she was like 20. She was like 20 something, which I guess is when you start having kids over there. You know, if that's your business, royalty, like, there's no real reason to hand. What the fuck am I trying? I'm having a stroke. To hold off. There's no reason to hold off on having kids. It's not like you have a career to chase. You know what I mean? If you're next in line to be the queen, that's it. That's what you're gonna do. There's no like, hey, I want to be a lawyer. You know, isn't that kind of insane? Like, you're born into a family and you kind of don't have. They teach you that there's no other life than this. I mean, how do you grow up in royalty and not be a piece of shit? I mean, it's hard for rich kids to grow up and be normal and to not be evil. Can you imagine royalty? I mean, you're eating fucking steak tartare with a gold fork that was mined by a slave or something. Like, how are you not gonna grow up to be a piece of shit? That's what I want to know. I don't know. And maybe the kids that just got popped out by what's her face, maybe they'll be different. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, you know, the generation coming up, they're getting more and more like, they'll probably reject it. That's why when Harry's the one that bowed out, right? Yeah, when he dipped out, it kind of like set a whole, like, he's the first to do that, right? He's the first to like not want to do his royal fucking duties. Dude, that's the pull of America. We sent an American chick over there, got them all cozied up, and she's like, have you been to America? You really want to live in this cloudy shithole for the rest of our lives? Like, don't get me wrong, England's great. Have you been to Southern California? Have you been? That's all I'm asking. Maybe we should check it out. You know, we could get a summer home there for starters, and then let's just see, what are the royal duties? Is it to fucking just sit there and smile while some kid who won a competition plays the violin in front of you? You know what I mean? Like, you ever see, you know, they would, motherfucker, just dropping shit. That was like a thing you always saw, like, the president do, you know? Some like orchestra thing, they won a competition and they get to go to the White House. And then the president, they're playing in front of the president. It's probably the same for the queen, right? Or the king. But like, other than that, what would you say you do here? You know what I mean? It feels like the president, anytime shit goes down, he's got to come on TV and he's got to say something about it, you know? Somebody gets shot and everyone freaks out. We all want to hear from the president, as if that's going to make us all like, you know what I mean? It used to be like when 9/11 happened, Bush stood on the rubble and he's like, we're going to find these sons of bitch. You know what I mean? That made sense to hear from the president because it felt like the nation was being attacked. But then nowadays, everything seems like it's a 9/11 because it goes viral and everyone freaks out about it. Like, somebody gets, not to say it's not a big deal, but somebody getting shot, you know, let's say there's like a school shooting or something like that. It's terrible, obviously, doesn't need to be said, but it's not 9/11. It's, you know, not flying planes into buildings, but there's still this thing where like the president's got to come on and he's got to say, as if he's going to have any important words. It's not that. I think that if he doesn't say something now, people are going to like, oh, you're not even going to talk about the shooting that happened? You're not even going to talk about it. It's like, what do you think he's going to fucking say? What do you think he's going to say? You think he's going to come on and be like, honestly, you know what I mean? He's going to condemn it. He's going to say we have a real issue that we have to tackle. And then he's going to go back in his office and take a nap. You know what I mean? the president, is not. It's not as important of a job as I think we all think it is. The job of the president is to preside. It's to preside over the country. I've heard this point from somebody else, and it was the first time somebody broke down the word of president in that way. Of like, yeah, they're not supposed to have all this power where they do all this. No, they're just supposed to preside over every. God, who was it? Who was I listening to that had that fucking point? It's gone. I'll never get it. It'll never come to me. But it was a good point. Of like, they're just supposed to fucking chill. They're there to, they're the babysitters. They're the babysitters of all the people who actually make decisions. They're the figurehead. They're the person that we all want to yell at when something goes amok. He's the guy in charge. He's the fall man. He's the fall guy. Every organization needs a fall guy. Except for the monarchy, I don't think they have a fall guy. I don't think they have the same rules. And they don't do any of that shit. If something terrible happens in England, I don't know if they have school shootings over there, but people, I'm sure, get murdered. Somebody gets fucking knifed up, and it's a terrible tragedy. I don't ever hear about the fucking king coming on TV and saying shit. No. I think it's just left to the local whatever. He lives up in a goddamn castle. He's not coming out for any of that bullshit. They literally, you just hear about, they just, attend public events and smile and wave. I feel like in England there's a lot of floats. That's like a big part of being royalty in England is you got to ride in a lot of floats. You got to learn to do the wave. Not if you're not watching, not the wave like at a football game. I mean the royal wave, which looks so creepy, by the way, where they just like their hand is kind of cupped and they just turn it back and forth. What the fuck's going on there? Creepy. It's like alien shit. They don't seem like real people. When there's like that level of, tradition, let's say, there's a part of it that's like kind of nice, but then there's the other part of it where it's like, all right, but who are you? You know what I mean? Who's behind the curtain? And that's how I feel about Kate Middleton. I'm just like, what's going on? When the door's shut and the castle door chain thing gets pulled up and the alligators are in the moat and nobody can reach you and you take the makeup off and you look in the mirror, who's that person? I don't know why I'm coming for the Royals right now. This kind of came out of nowhere. I was not thinking about them at all. I honestly don't know where any of this, I don't know how I started down this tangent. Oh, yeah, the Cartels. El Chapo. See, that guy got shit done. He just threw money and bodies at everything. And, they kind of just run their own thing down there. I think would you rather be, yeah, that's a question. I was going to say, would you rather be a royal or a cartel member? I guess you'd rather be a royal because just the base, existence of your life is not illegal. Like everything I feel like the cartels do is pretty much illegal. I think they steal everything. Everything is, they're just selling drugs and that's how they amass their wealth. Like I don't really know where the royals get their wealth. I guess it's taxes, right? We're paying, I mean not we, but they're paying, the citizens are paying for all this shit. Is that how it works? Call in if you know. But the cartels, the cartels are kind of just like it's like a mom and pop small business that kind of grew into something larger than life, I mean, if you start as a small drug organization, let's say, and you're just selling drugs, you maintain a territory. That's like a small business that you have. and then they just continue to grow and expand, and eventually they kind of just take over everything. It's kind of like Amazon. The cartels are the Amazon of Mexico, except they only deliver drugs to America, right? Do the cartels sell drugs in Mexico? Do they even sell drugs? Does anyone know? Again, call in. But yeah, they've just gotten to the point where it's like, oh yeah, we just kind of control everything. Maybe the cartels are kind of a sped up, because they've been around for a bit. Yeah, they're sort of a foreshadowing of what maybe Amazon will become. You know, like the cartels kind of just, they've been around forever and they just grew and grew, and then they just took over Mexico, and now they're so big it's like the police can't even fight them. Isn't that bananas? They'll just get in like straight up shootouts with the police. Like the idea that the police have any sort of authority is kind of a joke. It's like, why? Because you have a badge? Cool. Anyone can have a badge. You have a gun? I have a gun too. It's bigger. Let's go, pussy. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they treat the police. That's insane. But maybe that's where Amazon is headed. Who knows? I don't know. It could. In a different way, you know, they're not selling drugs. Like, what they're doing isn't technically illegal. But if they just control if all commerce goes through Amazon, it's like they kind of have their knee on the neck of America. That's a bad turn of phrase, I guess. You can't say that. Is that? I think that's like a phrase, but that one cop kind of ruined that, huh? But you know what I mean. Have us by the balls. Maybe that's better. Have America by the balls. Where if you control everything, then you can choose to do whatever you want. You can rack the price up and nobody can say anything different. Although Amazon, I feel like, is very cheap, but that's kind of how you get to be at the scale that Amazon is. Because like I've heard stories of like the tripod that I bought. Apparently it was like there was another business that sold pretty much this exact tripod, and Amazon kind of just copied the design, made their own, called it, it's an Amazon Basics tripod, and then made the price like a little bit lower, and then just sort of featured their tripod first. That's the other thing too, is you can sell shit on Amazon, but that doesn't mean you're going to be on the front page. I mean, the front page of Amazon is kind of a lot like Google, where nobody's going to that second page. If you're on Amazon, you're on the front page, you got a shot. But even if you're on the front page, you may not get hit with the fucking Amazon Choice sticker, which I'll admit does a lot. Like when I buy shit on Amazon, my eye goes to the thing that says Amazon's Choice or bestseller. Sometimes it's both. So if they just undercut you and fuck over your tripod company, they'll put you on the third or fourth page. No one's gonna find your shit. And even if they do, they're like, well, Amazon Basics one is pretty much the exact same thing. Why would I buy the more expensive one? It makes no sense. So they could basically just do that. That's how Amazon becomes the cartel. And they kill you not with bullets, but with sort of an economic drought of your business, let's say. I don't know if any of that is true or intelligently sound. I don't think so. Don't listen to anything I say, okay? I go back and forth on my opinions, on my beliefs. I mean, the level of dangerous idiocy that swings on this fulcrum that is my brain is quite remarkable. So, I don't know. I can't keep track anymore. I do buy, I've actually cut back a lot on buying shit on Amazon. Not because I'm buying it anywhere else. I'm just not buying things. Trying to cut back a little bit on just general spending. I think it was like a vice. It was a vice. Just buying things that that you don't need, that you think, you think you need. So I've been much better about that. Honestly, a lot of it is just the fact that I'm very busy, and mindless spending comes with free time and idle hands. So I haven't been doing that. I've also just been watching. I've been watching TV. I've been trying to read more, but I've cut back a little on the read. The book I was reading, it was about Sam Adams. It just wasn't. It wasn't great. Not Sam Adams isn't a cool dude. He's a very interesting historical figure, but the author, man, was just jerking this guy off the whole book. I mean, like, he's like saying how great he is without actually just saying what the fuck happened. The whole like first chapter of the book is him just being like, he's the greatest, blah, blah, blah. He's the unsung hero of this and that, and he's the reason that... Just get to this story, though, huh? Like, I don't like just straight up biographies where it's like, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Like, I like a little bit of zip and flair and whatnot and emotion, but like, it's like, hey, did you know the guy? I don't know. It's just it wasn't written very well, and the writing was very convoluted, and it was difficult to follow, and it felt like sometimes he was using words where, like, he would use a word and the whole reason to use the word was like, yeah, I fucking know that word. Like, you ever read a book like that where he's just using big words that aren't fucking necessary? That's how this book was, and I'm like, I am not interested enough in Sam Adams to go through with this, But anyway, next book I'm going to read is about, what's it called? It's called, like, I got it. It's the next one I'm going to go. It's called The Four, The Hidden DNA of Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google. It's a New York Times bestseller. So I'm going to give that a shot. I like learning about stuff so I can grab one fact and then regurgitate it at a party to somebody. And then they're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I read it in a book. Because I'm better than you. I mean, that's why we all read, isn't it? We're all reading to say that we're better than somebody else. I got a buddy. He's in he's in nursing school right now. And, he was never a good student in high school. But he's found his motivation to do well in school because he needs to pass these classes. And so the only thing that motivates him is that he can talk shit to the other people in the class who get grades that are lower than his. Like, the only currency that exists within the school setting is your grades. So the motivation is, well, if I do the best in the class, then I can talk shit to everybody else in the class. Makes me laugh. I mean, you got to find what works, But yeah, F&A, folks. Yeah, if you are hearing this, I am on my way. If it's Monday, I'm on my way back to Nashville for a few days, and then I'm going to Chattanooga to feature at the Comedy Catch, which should be a good amount of fun. So I don't know if any of you listening live in either of those places, but if you do, fucking come on out, DM a guy. But yeah, doing that, and then yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back in town on the 17th, so either I'll do one more pod before I go, or I'll just bring my pod stuff and we'll do another on the road podcast. That is seeming like what is going to be the move. So yeah, that's it for the pod this week. Thanks for checking on in. Hope you have a good week. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Peace.